How to protect human rights, and especially rights of LGBTQI plus persons. This is the topic of the Equal Rights Coalition conference here in Berlin, and one of the prominent participants in that conference is the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Türk. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having this conversation.
Just today, German diplomats are in Damascus in Syria. It's the start of talks with the HTS about an inclusive transition and also about human rights to protect minorities. What do you expect?
It is absolutely clear, after almost 14 years of one of the most horrific wars that the world has seen since the end of the Second World War, people are exhausted. They want to resume their lives. They also want to have a better future. And it is clear that human rights is central to the future of Syrians. And I just hope that with these extraordinary developments, that we are able together to support Syrians in their quest for justice, for more freedoms, for a life that all of us enjoy.
And the HTS, they promised to protect minorities, at least verbally. Do you believe that?
I mean, it's what we hear. It's important that these statements are made, and it's important that there is commitment, but the proof is in the pudding. We have to see how it plays out in practice, and we need to make sure that the commitments that the state has, including the transitional government, that they are actually realized and they become reality.
There has always been an LGBTQI community in Syria, but often they had to hide, they had to fear for their lives. What is something that the Syrian society could gain by accepting the freedom of privacy, the freedom of minorities like the LGBTQI community?
Look, I have met many Syrians in my life as refugees, including LGBTIQ+, Syrians outside the country. I've met many women's groups, and one thing that they all have in common, that their lives have changed for the better in a way, because they are more resilient, and they also want to bring back their experience into the country when it's possible for them to do so. So I'm actually hopeful that what we will see emerge is a very different Syria. It's a Syria that is actually anchored in human rights and in the human rights of each and everyone. I think it may sound a bit too optimistic at this stage, but we need to keep that aspiration alive, because that's what people really want. You saw what happened after the prisons got liberated. I mean, people just went into them. They know that it is about freedom, and I really hope they can keep up that spirit, and we need to support them.
How? Because what is the weight of, for example, Germany in that dream of having a free Syria?
I mean, it's clear that it's important to have an inclusive process, an inclusive political process that includes each and every Syrian, that includes the minority groups, that includes women, that includes young people, that includes the ones who are currently outside. And we need to support such an inclusive process, because, of course, what you also have in this type of situations is, many countries in the region, outside the region, have an interest. They need to bring it back to the Syrians, to the aspirations of the Syrians, and they need to ensure that it's a nationally owned process that is supported, but not dictated by others.
This is something that many people might fear, that there is somehow inside this worldwide process of fighting for human rights, also sometimes a colonial dimension. Do you see that?
Look, I have been to many places around the world, and I've talked to women and young people in Sudan, in Bangladesh, the students, now also Syrians, and I can tell you, for them, they don't believe in these abstract concepts. What they live and breathe is actually human rights, the way we understand it. I don't think we should make a distinction between different parts of the world. Human rights is the one thing that unites us as humanity, and we need to honor it and treasure it and fight for it.
The theme of this conference is countering the pushback. It's the guideline of this conference. How would you describe this pushback with regard to LGBTQI plus rights? What are you observing?
it's again important to see it in the historical perspective. 30, 40 years ago, you had 2/3 of countries criminalizing same-sex relationships. Today, it's a bit less than 1/3. So we have seen progress. But we have also seen, unfortunately, groups, anti-rights groups, that question the achievements, that question even gender equality issues, that question the LGBTIQ plus movement that has been incredibly important, like feminism, to advance human rights. We need to bring everyone back to the basics. It's about non-discrimination, it's about dignity, it's about fighting for diversity for everyone and respect. And I think that's what the conference is also about, to show what we have achieved, to brace ourselves for what may come, and to be strong in defending the achievements.
And you yourself, you see a broader effort that seeks to erode international human rights standards and their universality. Who is behind that? You were talking about groups.
Well, there are different groups. Some of them of a particular religious background. Some of them are, frankly, the old patriarchy that wants to get their way back. Some are people who are misinformed. Some of it is taking place on social media platforms. For us, the most important is to come back what it is all about. It's about the essence of dignity. It's about embracing people in their diversity. It's not about, again, telling other people how and what they should or should not do. It's about bringing out the freedom and you know, the freedom to love whoever you want to love is a fundamental one, and we should respect it.
Thank you very much, Volker Türk.
Thank you.